Let's see what happens. Let's see if it holds it in drive. That did absolutely nothing. And only because of the parking brake, I was able to stop. So clearly, they need more bleeding. All right, we're back working on this Cadillac and the install is all done. Basically, we just need to bleed it. So I'm gonna try out this Motive Products Power Bleeder. There's a really good video of how to use this on the Motive Product website. I will link that so you can watch it. You don't need to have me explain how to do it. But basically what I needed is a way to bleed the brakes on this car, basically with no one else helping me. That's what I needed. So we're gonna give it a try on this. It should work pretty well. We have it pressurized to 15 PSI, and we're gonna start with the left rear drum, and then we're gonna go to the right rear drum, get all the air out of the back system, and then we'll move on to the front. So I had this little voice in my head that was like, Ben, you fixed the front brakes. You haven't looked at these brakes in 10 years. You did them when you first got the car. You've been driving it ever since without any problems. But 10 years is a long time for, I guess, rubber nowadays. So I took the back drums off just to check, and this is what I found. So you can see our shoes actually look really, really good. The drums also look really good. The problem is this wheel cylinder. So I flipped open the front one of these, and it looked good. Went over here on the back, and yet there's fluid coming out of it. So that means the rubber in that one is perished. And I mean, it just, you know, adds an extra hour or so to rebuilding everything, but it's not the end of the world. And honestly, I'm glad I found it now before having to bleed the brakes again. Huh. Here on this other side, we actually have a cracked shoe. Never seen that before. They're both just cracked. You guys see that? Anyway, this will kind of show you what's going on. Great. Looks like I need shoes now. But another telltale sign, you open this up, see that in there? Not good. And you know, you can kind of tell it's just been seeping, and then maybe a little bit on this back end. But what I'm going to do so I don't drain the master cylinder is I'm going to disconnect the brakes. Maybe there. Well, disconnect it at each end and then put a rubber nipple over it, so that way it doesn't leak down the master cylinder, and we still should be good when it comes to bleeding. Well, I don't know if I'm disappointed or not. I mean, I rebuilt these 10 years ago, but I feel like they should have lasted longer. I don't know. It's not like the car really ever sat for that long. If it did, it was only months, you know, it wasn't any years or anything like that, but oh. Anyway, we'll clean them up. Hopefully they'll take new seals. Pretty sure they will. They're definitely the original ones. I remember painting these 10 years ago. This is deja vu, but you know what? Once every 10 years isn't too bad. They're not modern, right? So we're gonna hone them, put a new kit in them, clean up all this other associated hardware, and they should be good to go back in. I'm really bummed that I need new brake shoes on that one side because, anyway, I wasn't planning on doing that, but we will order them. Here's the kit opened up. It's a Raybestos kit, 1-inch diameter, I believe. And honestly, I cleaned up the rubber from the old stuff and it seemed to work okay, but you just want to make sure that it fits like it should, and it does. So we'll add some brake fluid as lubricant, and we'll put it all back together. And then we'll wait on brake shoes in the mail. Great. There it is. See those bubbles? Getting bubbles out of this caliper. So I'm gonna bleed this entire bottle's worth of fluid out of this caliper, and hopefully by then I'll get some good pedal. But they just keep coming, little bloop bloop bloop. I'm excited. All right, first test of the brakes. They feel really good. Oh, stop the car. Brake test holding, you guys. Oh yeah, that's much better than it was. I like that a lot. So before, when I had the drum brakes, might have been adjustment, it might have just been drum brakes, but there was a lot of pedal travel and it was kind of mushy the whole way through. This actually stops right when it starts stopping the car right when I push on the brake pedal. And I don't go nearly as far down. I like that a lot. That feels a little bit more, I guess, modern than another car would have been. Alright guys, I wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about this disc brake conversion. This is going to be the last video on it, and I wanted to share some pointers. I want to share some thoughts on it. So, is it worth the thousands of dollars that they charge to put disc brakes on your Cadillac? Short answer is yes, it is worth it. Long answer, it's a lot more complicated than you think. So, one thing you have to remember on this disc brake setup is that the instructions are lacking. It's supposedly a universal kit, and I guess in a sense it is, but the instructions, you might as well just crumple them up and throw them away. They help none. Basically what the instructions say are, install the parts as you see on the picture, and that's it. They're really not even worth reading, if you could even call them instructions. The second thing you need to know is that the customer support from Caddy, they're a great company, but A, they don't make the part. B, they don't install the part. And C, if you have any kind of detailed questions about it, they have no idea. Zero idea. I called them multiple times, and they were always very nice and wanted to be as helpful as they could, but they just don't know, especially when it comes to really specific questions about the system itself. They have no idea. Can you expect that from a normal company? I mean, I guess, but to me, if you're going to charge somebody $2,000 for a system, you better be able to back it up. So, in my opinion, if you're new starting out on working on cars or really can't troubleshoot very well or figure out stuff on your own, don't do this kit because it's a little more complicated. Hopefully, the video can kind of explain some things that the instructions don't, and give you a little bit more confidence and basically help you out installing it, because that's one of the reasons why I made it, because there's zero information on this kit at all. I mean, would I do it again? I guess, only because I've done it once, so hopefully that helps you guys out. The other thing I don't like about it is they also don't provide part numbers for anything.
where let's say you have a caliper go bad, or you need a set of pads, or you need a new master cylinder. Good luck, because they don't want to share the information on how to assemble the kit together, because that's how they make the money on it. So there's no information on how to exchange individual parts. Lastly, the last thing I want to explain on this, which is what threw me for a loop. If you guys follow any of my social media, I was posting up on the Cadillac forums like, I can't get this thing to stop right, I can't get this thing to work, it's not that difficult, what is the deal? And part of it was the rear brakes had a little bit of a leak, but it's flying here. Part of it was the rear brakes did have a little bit of a leak, but the real issue was the brake pedal itself. So let's say on a see-through Corvette or a more modern car, the pedal actually has springs in the assembly, so when you push it down, it will return itself. This Cadillac, all it is a pedal on a hinge. So you take away the rod that goes to the master cylinder, it just falls. And so one of the issues that I had was when I first installed it, I was under the hood and I didn't realize that the pedal had fallen about halfway down. So when I connected the rod, I connected it to the pedal, and then I connected it to the master cylinder, not thinking that I only had 50% of my push, where what I needed to do is have somebody hold the pedal up here and then connect the rod and then connect it to the master cylinder, which gave me a full travel, if that makes any kind of sense. I never would have imagined that would have been a thing, but here we are and it's a thing. So remember that when you install this on your own Cadillac, is that the pedal doesn't return to its natural full up position by itself. It will swing down and pretty much stick right in the middle. You need to pull it all the way up for it to work. But hindsight, yes, the brakes are better. Yes, I feel much more confident driving the car. No, I don't think it's worth the money, just because the support isn't there and the cost is kind of crazy considering what you're getting. I mean, in reality, the only Cadillac specific thing are the brackets that hold the brackets that hold the caliper to the spindle, and then there's little machined spindle parts that make it so you can adapt a disc to the actual drum brake spindle. Everything else is like, I believe it's all like 70s Ford technology, the master cylinder, the calipers, hoses, all that kind of stuff. So do what you will with my opinion, but that's what it is. Hopefully at least one or two of you guys made use of the discount. I don't know if it's still up or not, but yeah, let me know in the comments if you have done this before, what you thought. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.